Good afternoon. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners Board meeting for Tuesday, July 27th, 2021. My name is Ty Mentor, Chair of the Board. To my left is the Vice Chair of the Board, Commissioner Gary Edwards. Calling this meeting to order at 2:01 p.m. and we're beginning with the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Vice Chair Edwards.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. We would also like to start today with a land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge the indigenous Salish peoples who have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial and who still inhabit the area today, specifically the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. I would contemplate a motion regarding the proposed agenda for today's meeting.
Yes, sir. I would move to approve the agenda for today, Tuesday, July 27th, 2021.
I will second that and call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia, Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Mentor.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. I would contemplate a motion regarding board meeting minutes from July 20th.
I would move to approve the board meeting minutes from July 20th, 2021.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Call for the vote on board meeting minutes.
Commissioner Mejia. Aye. Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Mentor.
Aye. Motion carries. Board meeting minutes approved for July 20th, 2021. Next is a presentation. We're a proclamation for Farmers Market Week, and I think we have guests connected to that proclamation. I'll turn it to the county manager.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioners. Good afternoon. I believe we have members of the community who represents the former farmers markets here in Thurston County, and I believe we have Mr. Brett Warnick. Yep. Thank you. If you have the time to unmute yourself and say a few words before the board reads the proclamation.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank everybody for doing the proclamation for the Farmers Market and the National Appreciation Week. I feel very appreciative to have a community that benefits and holds the farmers markets in such high standing. A few things to look forward to for the National Farmers Market Week that we're going to be doing at the market. We're going to have a merch sale. So we'll have some new Olympia Farmers Market shirts that just came out. We'll be selling some tote bags, blue canvas aprons. We also will be having a week-long raffle from our outreach table for a chance to win a market tote full of items that are given from the vendors at the local markets. On Saturday, August 7th, we'll have a market bingo for the first 100 children who will be showing up and get their bingo sheet to the market office. They'll receive $2 in market tokens. Earth Homes LLC will have a new microhouse dropped at the market, and the mural will be painted live by a local artist, which at this point, I believe it's going to be the new chief for the Quinault tribe. So we're very fortunate and welcoming to have their representation on the market grounds. We also have snow cones, ice cream, as well as an informational area that will list all the wonderful reasons to shop local and support sustainable agricultural practices in our local area. And thank you all for your support.
Thank you. Did we have was that it? Or I wasn't sure if there was a Tumwater. There was a suggestion this morning that we were having it.
I don't believe they have been able to make it.
Okay, so very good. Any questions, comments from the board?
No, I would just comment that I think farmers markets are a growing thing, and I think you'll see more of them as time goes on. It's a good way for the community to interact and end up with something healthy.
I'll second that. I believe they're such an essential part of our community, you know, the connection between local farmers, artists, vendors, and of course consumers, and they are growing and definitely a tourism addition into that. So I'm glad we're doing this.
Also a good place to hear bluegrass music. along with other kinds of music. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Proclamation for Farmers Market Week. Whereas Thurston County farmers, ranchers, and agricultural workers provide residents with access to healthy, locally and regionally produced foods through farmers markets, which are expanding and evolving to accommodate the demand for a diverse array of agricultural products. And whereas farmers markets are direct-to-consumer outlets providing infrastructure and the platform on which farmed and value-added farmed products can be sold. And whereas over $6 million each year is contributed to the Thurston County economy from sales at farmers markets, demonstrating the bounty that the fertile soils of Thurston County provide, and whereas farmers markets serve as significant outlets where producers sell agricultural products that support the financial sustainability of family farms and the revitalization and preservation of Thurston County's rural landscape. And whereas farmers markets are hubs where all are welcomed to support local farmers, food producers, and our artisans, crafters, and cultivate community through initiatives which incubate business, preserve rural livelihoods, keep farmland in production, and provide food access programs. And whereas the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners recognizes the importance of expanding agricultural marketing opportunities that promote and encourage the growth of farming and ranching-based businesses, which generates farm income, helping to stimulate business development, job creation, natural resource stewardship, and community building across rural and urban Thurston County. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Thurston County Commissioners hereby proclaims August 1st through August 7th, 2021 as Farmers Market Week in Thurston County and urges residents to visit and enjoy the healthful benefits of farmers markets. Adopted this 27th day of July, 2021, signed by your Board of County Commissioners.
get the signatures on here. Thank you, Greg. Okay. Now it's time for the opportunity for the public to address the board. Board of Thurston County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public at all formal board meetings. However, there are some guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate. Please introduce yourself when announced and give your name and the area of the county in which you reside. Please address the board, not audience or staff. Silence your cell phones. The board will not respond directly to public comment, but on an as-needed basis, the county manager will follow up with specific items. Speakers are limited to a total of 4 minutes to address the board. They cannot donate that speaking time or a portion of it to any other person. The board reserves the right to restrict a person's opportunity to address the meeting for good cause. No comments that are lewd, offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outbursts of any kind. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business, and remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal are not permitted. Finally, all materials provided to the county may be considered public records subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 RCW. I've got 3 folks signed up who wish to testify, and we'll do a final call at the end of that. First is Lanita Grice, and on deck will be Reuben Reese. Lanita Grice.
Come to the podium. You have 4 minutes, man.
Just a note, I am fully vaccinated, but I'm 66, and as you know, we magically become vulnerable at the age of 65, and I'm worried about the Delta variant, so I wear my mask.
Thank you.
My name is Lanita Grice, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today about water quality issues at Black Lake. I live on Black Lake, and I swim in the lake every day, sometimes twice a day in the summer. So I care very deeply about the water quality in the lake and its watershed. As you know, Black Lake Special District acquired a $1.4 million bond to treat Black Lake with alum this spring in order to prevent the frequent toxic blue-green algae blooms. The property owners within the district will be paying off that bond for many years to come. But already, the efficacy of that alum treatment is threatened by avoidable pollutants entering the lake. In addition to the $1.4 million, Black Lake District also spent $53,000 on a pollutant monitoring project. And in a report that the district submitted to Thurston County Environmental Health earlier this month, 3 drainages into the lake were identified as having septic tank effluent. Environmental Health reviewed the records of septic tank systems or septic systems along just one of these drainages and found that 13 out of the 16 on-site sewage systems there do not meet county standards for maintenance. On July 9th, Lake Stinzy of the Black Lake District Board of Directors requested that Environmental Health at least put warning signs up along those streams. He was advised that there is no protocol for such signage and that the county would need a grant from the Department of Ecology to do anything about the streams. A grant for funds that would not be accessible for at least a year. Waiting for a grant from an outside source to enforce the sanitary code of this county means that for the next year, every flush of the toilets on those failing systems will pour more human fecal matter into the lake. At the very least, lake users and people who live along those 3 streams need to know about this threat to their health. To me, and voters like me who think the county should protect human health, signage will not be enough. The county needs to appropriate funds to Environmental Health to enforce the sanitary code. If septic effluent continues to flow unchecked into Black Lake, the $1,453,000 spent by Black Lake property owners on alum treatment and pollutant monitoring might as well have been flushed down the toilets of those failing septic systems. The mobile home park where I live, Timber Lane, has more septic tanks than are on that one polluted drainage across the lake. Our tanks are regularly inspected, pumped, repaired, and certified. We are doing our part to keep the lake clean. Well, we don't have the authority to confront the owners of non-compliant septic systems, but you do have that authority, and I ask that you use it. Thank you.
Reuben Reese is next. John Pettit on deck.
Can I approach?
County Manager.
Thank you.
I am fully vaccinated. My name is Reuben Reese. I bought the property and home at 8328 180th Way, Southwest, Rochester, in October of 2016. I bought the property from the REO Department of Green Tree Financial Services Corporation, then U.S. Bank in Dallas, Texas. Before they were allowed to the purchase to go through, they spent over $45,000 to clean up the property. They were dealing with Thurston County Health Department to complete the requirements that had been placed on the property. The transaction went through. I have been living and occupying the property for over 4 years. A reasonable person would assume that all requirements from the owner, the bank, have been addressed or the transaction would not have been allowed. In the months following my purchase of the property, I have been visited by Mark, and I don't remember his last name, of the Thurston County Health Department on several occasions to, 1, see how the residual cleanup was going, 2, look for a buried vehicle where I had to rent an excavator to dig holes looking for the vehicle, and was advised by Mark to have the shop tested for meth. At no time was I advised, warned, or told that a red tag prohibiting the entry of the shop was still in effect. I paid a lot of money to have the test done. Copies of the test results by Advanced Environmental are presented to you. Out of the 14 samples collected, only one came back with a 1.7 micrograms per 100 square centimeters. The acceptable level is 1.5. The expert technician began to tell me the cost of removing the contaminated area. I told him I wasn't interested in removing it, but was interested in getting the 1.7 down to 1.5 that was acceptable. His expert advice was to clean it with water. He then went on to tell me that because it was a meat shop, a former meat shop, the ceiling and walls were covered with a non-permeable surface, plastic, and that the meth chemicals would not be absorbed so that cleaning it with water would get it below the 1.5 desired. I did that. I also painted over it as per his advice to assure the wanted results. Mark from the health department representative advised me that simple green works best. I am here today to ask this body to have the health department fashion a letter to be filed superseding the red tag that now taints this property. Any common sense person would conclude that A, the original amount of over 18,600 feet squared have reduced themselves to acceptable levels, except one, on their own with just time and cleanup. The minute amount needed to get to acceptable levels has been achieved by wiping with water and painting as advised by an expert. The health department allowed me to occupy the building for over 4 years, which proves that there's no health risk. At this time, Patrick Soderberg from the health department refuses to remove the red tag unless I spend the money to have it tested again. Even though an expert who does that for a business says that wiping it with water achieved my goal. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. We have John Pettit, and then that's the end of my sign-up sheet for testimony.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is John Pettit. I live off Rich Road in southeast Olympia. This morning I was watching a little bit of your agenda-setting meeting, and as you kind of went through some of your agenda, I had anticipated seeing a couple items, and I see they've been removed from this afternoon's agenda. Specifically, the portion that has the element for the COVID local fiscal recovery fund. I would have really liked to see you pass that so we can get that ARP money out of the general fund account and put into a separate account. I think you know that recently I sent you a little recall letter, that's how I'll rephrase it, to point out that Thurston County's fiscal condition, once you get that money out of the account, has a very different look than what it looks like with the money in the account. In fact, it's an extremely different, and I think that there is questions whether or not the entire fiscal condition of Thurston County may be good or not, which brought me to the second part, which is I was glad to see you remove the rainy day fund portion off of the agenda to make that account, because I think you need to just keep it in your general fund in order to maintain a fund balance. You're going to find that if everything was working according to what I laid out before, you're just going to barely have 2 months worth of fund balance left in the account by the end of this year. And now, which brings up another point. I realize that none of the commissioners here are CPAs. I'm not actually a CPA, but I'm a number cruncher, and I know a lot about different things. And one of the things we do know is this. The general fund, once you got done with your budget last December, the general fund is a no-touch zone until the next budget cycle. It is just like any other budgetary element for any department. It's a no-touch zone. It's not a daily checking account. That fund, you make appropriations during the budget cycle, not throughout the year. I don't know how this got turned around that we think we make adjustments in the general fund all the time. We don't. Your fund, unless you're receiving funds that were from unanticipated sources, you're not to be making any additional supplemental appropriations. Now, this year you've chose, we're going to go to a biennial budget, which will even be a greater challenge, making sure that you aren't putting your fingers and playing in the general fund. I've already covered a lot of this territory, and I want to be very specific about this. We've already have a spot where, yes, I've appealed things over to a judge in order to get an opinion or a direction from the judge to make a ruling regarding a budget amendment that you have passed. And as such, when you pass that amendment, then you immediately went out, wrongfully, my opinion, and spent $5.7 million in a appropriation that wasn't existing last year. That's a very huge amount of dollars. You don't need to throw another $2 million onto it in order to become personally liable for that too. I'm just telling you, we need to get something working to get this corrected, and the answers haven't been from your staff to take the right direction on this. You need to be looking elsewhere. Thank you.
Anyone else in the boardroom that didn't sign up that might want to provide testimony? Not seeing anybody, and do we need to check our Zoom, committee manager?
I don't believe, let me
Can't read
check.
the names.
Hold on.
Somebody's got their hand up.
Do you? Hold on.
Upper left
I
corner.
have Ms. Maria Vizo. Please unmute yourself. You have 4 minutes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I live in French Road, and I've lived here for quite a while. And during that time, when we moved here, we're on French Road, so we're in the urban growth area. And over the years, I get to experience what used to be joyful with the quietness around here to become adversarial and dangerous. And then with the last couple of years with red flag warnings and fire danger and everything else. And this year, and brilliantly so, red flag warning regarding fire and safety was put in place to limit, discourage, and make us aware that it was no longer legal for us to fire our fireworks. So a couple of us have gotten together and we've sent a letter asking to expand our awareness and possibly put some teeth into the regulations in regards to the fireworks. I noticed that we had it was in the paper saying it was illegal, and there's the RCWs speaking about when fireworks are allowed to be shot off. And yet this year, starting on the 27th of June, people started firing off their fireworks. And it continued even as of last night at 11:30 when I took my dog out. And it's almost like, at first it was like a couple of rapports to the southeast of me. And then almost as if a call and response, somebody north on the peninsula, Cooper Point Peninsula, started firing off fireworks as well. And I'm not against fireworks. What I am cautious about is that with dry conditions and the housing the way it is with us being so close to each other, that it becomes dangerous for all of us. And especially when people willy-nilly just fire them off at different times of the day and night throughout and beyond the 4th of July holiday. And especially when we have a red flag warning. I did pay attention to the blotters, the sheriff's blotters and everything else. And unless I missed something, there was a lot of, and on the Facebook, they were saying cops have been called to this place where fireworks are going on. And yet nobody was arrested. Nobody was arrested for what I would say excessive, high-powered fireworks being set off. And so we've sent a letter in, several of us. We just need attention to this. I would support, like when we have Lake County Fair, that there's fireworks in a control situation where things are safe, where things are appropriate, that nobody's going to get hurt, like that incident that did happen on the southern part of the county where somebody's hand was injured. I don't know to what extent. I try not to be morbid to watch those things, and I'm sorry that happened. And yet I'm asking for the commissioners to please take it into strong consideration that not just because of water quality, because these fireworks land everywhere, it impacts the fish, It impacts the safety of some people, especially with PTSD. I've been working in mental health for over 50 years, outrageously enough. And yes, this does impact people. And this is the time of the year that we lose so many dogs and cats, and we have deer running around crazy because they're being frightened as well. And as somebody who had a dog that would shake uncontrollably to the point of seizures, it's just horrible to watch animals and family members be impacted by the fireworks. So I won't go on. Please look forward to the letter from several of us, and I'm not the only one. This was a hastily put together letter citing the RCWs, and yet we need teeth to be put into how we respond to law breaking discharge of fireworks in the county. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Sue Yochum, please unmute yourself for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, sorry.
4 minutes. Unmute yourself and for 4 minutes.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead and you have 4 minutes. Can you
I have 4 minutes. Okay, you can hear me.
Yeah.
I've been in contact with Maria recently, and I live out on the Steamboat Island Peninsula. And me and a few other community members have been in contact with Josh Cummings. And I was actually hoping that he would be at this meeting today to discuss establishing a work group that includes public citizens like me and Maria and one other for sure lady and a couple others. We have some suggestions for ways to enforce a ban of fireworks, and even, you know, the burn ban, they call the fire department and somebody shows up. Fireworks ban, you know, nobody, doesn't seem like anybody cares. So we're requesting that a work group be put together to examine the fireworks situation for the districts 1, 2, and 3. And I look forward to participating on that committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Mr. George Sharp, you'd like to provide testimony? George?
Ramiro, can I interrupt you? Did you get that lady's name and
Yeah,
information?
it's Sue Yochum. Yeah,
Okay, just in case
I have it.
want to follow up or whatnot.
George, you'd like to provide testimony?
Hi, Mayor. I was just signing in to support the farmers market.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the Zoom who would like to provide testimony this afternoon? Here, none, no, sir.
Okay, thank you. That'll bring us to item 2, County Manager's Update.
Yeah, I will follow up with some of the comments that we received today, and then Mr. Reese and some of the fireworks comments will follow up and see the next steps. But also I'd like to follow up on the previous testimony that we have received, one on July 13th. That was from Mr. Joe Hanna. I don't think he's here. And his testimony was related to the board making budget cuts in 2020 to the 4-H program. In his testimony, he also suggested that perhaps the staff should look into this particular matter. I have, and there is no evidence the board has taken any action to reduce the budget of 4-H, and as a result, there is no evidence the services related to the 4-H has been reduced in 2020. So if the next time I see Mr. Hanna, if he has any particular evidence of those budget cuts, I would love to hear it so I can follow up. But at least from my perspective and from my due diligence, I have found no budget cuts related to 4-H in 2020. The other testimony that I'd like to follow up was provided by Mr. Lake Stinzy last week, and this is related to, I believe, public testimony today from Mr. Lanita Bryce, and they're related to the Black Lake water quality and environmental health. And related to the signings, I have reached out to environmental health. That will continue to be a conversation with the Black Lake Special District. But Ms. Bryce is correct. There is about resources, and we need to find a way as to how we build those resources to respond to water quality. I can attest to the fact the Board of County Commissioners shared the concerns related to water quality in the lakes. And to that effect, last week, the Board of County Commissioners had a great conversation related as to how they would like to explore a programmatic investment coming up to the 2022-2023 budget cycle. That was one of the priorities the Board of County Commissioners stated to staff last week. We're going to be bringing some proposals this coming fall when they go through the budget process and determine whether this program is adequate and also how much money will be available to address the water quality, not just in Black Lake, but I believe the Board of County Commissioners would like to explore water quality across all the lakes in the county. So environmental health will continue to have a conversation with the Black Lake, especially youth district representatives. Related to the signings, there is a little more complex related to just placing a sign. It has to be meaningful and directed to what we need to address with that sign. Whether it's an opportunity to place some signs, we need to work on that. And that's probably what you receive in terms of there is not really a process to just place a sign based on a citizen's perspective. We have to do the due diligence to make sure that we address what the concerns on that signs are. So we'll continue to work with the Special Use District. And again, related to the water quality across the lakes, the Board of County Commissioners will be reviewing that particular proposal during the budget preparation process, which will occur in the fall of 2021.
I think even more directly connected to Ms. Grice's comments, you might want to mention the Board of Health meeting tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. And in parallel to that, thank you, Commissioner. The board has been engaged in a lot of conversations related to septics in the county. This has been, at least from my point of view, close to a year of conversations. We'll have new county commissioners this year. And tomorrow is the continuation of that conversation related to septics in the county and how we can start addressing some of the impacts septic system has in our water quality. I believe the briefing is scheduled tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Let me double check.
It's 9:30.
9:30. So this will be live streamed. So I will encourage you to either come in person or participate by seeing the discussion, because there is going to be a lot of good conversation related as to how we're going to be addressing the impacts of septic systems in the county.
Thank you. Anything else for the county manager?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Let's go to the consent agenda. We have items 3A through 3E. Is there any request to pull an item or remove it for separate vote?
I'm prepared to make a motion.
Okay, I'm here. Ready for that motion.
I would move to approve consent items A through E.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye. Motion carries. Items 3A through 3E are approved. We'll go to department items. The first is an auditor's department item, auditor's office. Interlocal agreement with Jefferson County for election facilities. Mary Hall is listed on the agenda, although I don't see Mary.
I think we have Tilly is going to represent Mary. Go ahead.
Okay, very good.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tilly Napatee, Polar Elections Manager for the Thurston County Auditor's Office. We come to you today asking for the interlocal agreement to be signed in conjunction with Jefferson County In the event of a continuity of operations plan, a COOP is activated and such events renders Jefferson County and their office unsustainable for the purpose of elections. We ask both Thurston and the auditor to authorize the use of our facilities for the Jefferson County Elections Office. Right now, Jefferson County's Board of County Commissioners just approved their interlocal agreement with us. It should be sitting with the clerk of the board, Amy Davis, for signature with our board chair here, Commissioner Menser, and of course, Amy Davis. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
Yes, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Tilly, it's my understanding that should this need to take place through, maybe a fire or earthquake or flood, whatever it is, that it's going to be a physical move by one entity to the other. It is not going to be an electronic connection or the internet. Is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, we would be utilizing our own equipment if we were to move to Jefferson County or to another county. Currently, we are working with 2 other counties to create and to execute an interlocal agreement similar to what you have in front of you. The 3 counties that we would be in an agreement with all have the same tabulation systems.
Okay, that was my other part of it, the tabulation part. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, ready for a motion?
I would move to approve the interlocal agreement with Jefferson County for the use of elections facilities until December 31st, 2026, and authorize the chair of the Board of County Commissioners to execute the agreement.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia? Aye. Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menser?
Aye. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Tilly.
Thank you.
Item 5 is under Central Services, a bid award for Thurston County Corrections Facility Roof and Siding Repair, CP 25605.
Yes, thank you, Commissioners. Reuben Campbell is going to be presenting the item for you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Reuben Campbell, Assistant County Manager. This item before you is to repair and siding at the Thurston County Corrections Facility, also called the jail.
Have your microphone on.
Oh. And now I have 2. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'll start again. Reuben Campbell, Assistant County Manager. Thank you very much. The Thurston County Corrections Facility, also known as the jail. We've been having issues in that building with the roof and siding. The existing roof and the stucco rooftop have been leaking and have required frequent maintenance and repairs. In order to correct this, we need to repair the roof by putting on waterproof coating, a roof penetration clamp, sealant replacement, replacement of the existing stucco, and other related activities that will make the roof watertight, which is exactly what you want from a roof. The project before you went out to bid, and the low bidder to repair the entire roof is Roof Toppers Incorporated of Vancouver, Washington. The bid is just under $354,000. And this amount was more than we had anticipated at the time the board adopted the budget. The reason for the higher cost is we're seeing a 40% inflation rate in construction, not only in facilities, but also in other public work projects across the county. And actually, we're seeing those types of inflation in construction across the state and the nation. So this motion requests that you approve the contract to repair the roof and authorize an adjustment in the budget of $35,000. We currently have $500,000 in the Building Reserve Fund for major maintenance projects that we have not committed at this point. I am proposing that you shift $35,000 of that money to this project so that we can complete the repairs necessary at the jail. And I'd be happy to answer any questions about this project that you may have.
Commissioner Mejia? Anything?
No questions at this time.
Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. I would like to compliment staff on that particular issue, though. They went back several times and went over this quite a bit, attempting to get us the best deal. I think they did save us a little money.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Ready for a motion?
I would move to award a contract for the Thurston County Corrections Facility roof and siding repair project 25605 to Roof Toppers Incorporated of Vancouver, Washington, in the amount of $353,956.04, and authorize budget adjustment in the amount of $35,000 from project 25999, major maintenance, to project 25605, Thurston County Correctional Facility roof and siding repair. Also authorize the Assistant County Manager to execute the contract in any change orders due to unforeseen conditions only that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion from the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye. Motion carries. Next is 6A, Public Health and Social Services, Consolidated Homeless Grant and Housing Essential Needs Revenue Contract. We have Thomas Webster from our Housing Department. I see him up there.
There I am. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tom Webster with Thurston County Public Health and Social Services, the Program Manager for the Office of Housing and Homeless Prevention. So I'm here today to ask your approval for a contract with the Washington State Department of Commerce for two programs, the Consolidated Homeless Grant and the Housing and Essential Needs Program. This is a 2-year contract with a value of $9,159,975. So these funds are used to support our homeless programs and services. Earlier this year, you approved funding for 37 contracts. Some of those contracts were contingent based on the receipt of these awards. So once we sign this contract with your approval, we will then be able to execute those contracts. This contract from Commerce runs from July 1st of 2021 through June 30th of 2023. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anything for Tom?
No, sir.
No questions. It's hard to question getting in $9 million. It's a good thing, Tom. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, it is. Thank you.
Yep, I'm ready for motion.
I would move to approve the Washington State Department of Commerce State Fiscal Years 2022-2023 revenue contract for the Consolidated Homeless Grant and Housing Essential Needs in the amount of $9,159,975 for funding of county homeless programs and services, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to execute the contract and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye. Motion carries. 6A is approved. 6B, Amendment to Interfaith Works Contract for Non-Congregate Shelter Bed Program. Again, Thomas Webster for Public Health.
All right. Thank you, Commissioners. So this is a contract we're asking for an amendment to a contract with Interfaith Works to add $225,000 of funding using a local document recording fee, $2,163. That will bring the total contract value to $852,926. The purpose of this amendment is we've been working with Interfaith Works to create 6 respite beds for folks who are homeless who are being discharged from local hospitals to give them additional time and space to recover. from their hospitalization. Under the FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency Public Assistance Program, FEMA allows for 100% reimbursement of non-congregate sheltering during COVID. And so this program, we believe, is eligible for FEMA public assistance funding. And we intend to move forward and are moving forward with applying to FEMA for support for this program. However, in the event FEMA determines that some or a portion of the program is not eligible, we're amending this contract using the local document recording fee to ensure that we have sufficient local funding to cover this program. So this is really a program to, as I said, provide 6 respite beds for folks being discharged. Interfaith Works is working in coordination with Providence Hospital and Capital Medical Center on those beds. So we're looking for an amendment to this contract, which would also extend the period of performance through the end of the year of December 31st, 2021. And happy to answer any questions.
Questions on this one, Commissioner Mejia?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, okay. Ready for motion.
I would move to approve an amendment to the Interfaith Works contract 1921-21-IFW-ES to add $225,000 of local document recording fee funding for a total contract value of $852,926, and to extend the contract to December 31st, 2021, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye, motion carries. That's 6B. Sticking with Public Health and Social Services, 6C is an interlocal cooperation agreements, set of agreements for Community Development Block Grant Urban County Entitlement Funds. Jacinda Stelchis, Affordable Housing Coordinator. Good afternoon, Jacinda.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Jacinda Stelchis, Public Health and Social Services. This, again, before you guys, you have an interlocal agreement for CDBG funding for the urban county designation. This is, we execute these every 3 years to keep our designation, and all of our participating jurisdictions are participating this year. So we have Yelm, Rainier, Tenino, City of, Tumwater, Lacey, and Town of Bakota.
Yeah. And this amounts to about just under $1 million a year. Is that right?
Yes, approximately $1 million per year.
Okay, Commissioner Edwards?
That rotates between those the jurisdictions, with Lacey, Tumwater, and then the South County areas controlling the CDBG funds on a rotating basis.
Under this agreement, great.
I guess I'd just like to add to the viewing public that we've had discussions on all of these items voting on. So if anybody's interested, they can always watch our work sessions, and they might wonder how come we're not asking questions when there's so much money, but we've asked all those questions. So.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And I'm prepared for motion, sir.
Let's go.
I would move to approve and authorize the Chair of the Board of County Commissioners to sign the interlocal cooperation agreements between Thurston County and the cities of Rainier, Yelm, Tenino, Lacey, and Tumwater, and the town of Bakota, to participate in and receive funds as a urban county entitlement community under the Federal Community Development Block Grant Program for the program years 2022 through 2024.
I'll second.
Moved, seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye, that motion carries. And we're up to item D, I think it's 6D, Interlocal Cooperation Agreement for Home Investment Partnerships Program. Sticking with you, Jacinda.
Thanks, Commissioners. So again, this is also related to our CDBG and home federal funding. Just a reminder that Olympia gets their own funding, but we do a CDBG, funding. But we do have to enter into an agreement with them for our home federal funds. So this item allows us to continue that partnership with them, continue receiving home investment partnerships program funding from HUD that is distributed across Thurston County, including Olympia.
Questions for Cinda on this item?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, ready for a motion.
I would move to approve the interlocal cooperation agreement between Thurston County and the City of Olympia to participate in and receive funds as a home consortium under the Federal Home Investment Partnerships Program for the program years 2022 to 2024, and authorize the chair of the Board of County Commissioners to execute this agreement.
I'll second.
And moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye. Motion carries. We're moving right along. Item 6E, Thurston Mason County Developmental Disabilities Millage Levy Interlocal Agreement. Annalise Cole with us, Social Services Program Specialist. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. As you mentioned, Annalisa Cole. I am the Social Service Interim Program Manager for the Developmental Disabilities Department. And today I am requesting approval for the Thurston and Mason Interlocal Agreement. Since 1980, Thurston and Mason County have maintained an interlocal agreement which provides funding for an administration of the Developmental Disabilities Program. Through this agreement, Thurston and Mason County each levy an annual tax of 2.5 cents per $1,000 of assessed value against the taxable property in the county as provided in RCW 71.20.110. These funds raised by this levy, known as millage funding, are paid into the Thurston County Human Services and Developmental Disabilities Fund. Per this agreement, the Thurston County Treasurer has been and will remain the custodian of all funds for the administration of the Developmental Disabilities Program. The funding received from this levy is utilized to fund, support, improve, increase, and expand services available to individuals with developmental disabilities in Thurston and Mason counties. The Thurston County Developmental Disabilities Department currently holds contracts with 11 different agencies, which provide services in the area of transportation, financial planning and support services, healthy relationships courses, pre-employment job club for our transition students, technical assistance for clients and contracted providers, and social and recreational programs, just to name a few. With the Commissioner's approval, we will be posting a request for proposal in fall of 2021 for ongoing support of these type of services and to address any service gaps that exist within our communities. We're hoping to see new applicants and even more innovative programs and increase services to individuals residing in rural areas. Once developed and approved, the RFP will be distributed to community partners, currently contracted agencies, and will be advertised via local news outlets and county social media sites. Currently, we are requesting approval for the continuation of this interlocal agreement for an additional 5-year period from 2022 to 2027, and signatures indicating agreement for the continuation of this interlocal agreement with Mason County from the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners.
Okay, any questions on this item?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, ready for a motion.
I would move to approve the interlocal agreement with Mason County for a 5-year term for the Developmental Disabilities Program millage levy and authorization, and authorize the chair of the Board of Thurston County Commissioners to sign this agreement.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. Thank you. Item 6F, Medicaid Transformation Year 5 funding from Cascade Pacific Action Alliance. And Chris Hawkins is here to present.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Chris Hawkins here, Program Manager on Education and Prevention with Thurston County Public Health and Social Services. Thank you for having me here today. Asking for your approval on an amendment to a contract for Medicaid transformation projects that we do as part of a region-wide effort across the Cascade Pacific Action Alliance region. It's a 7-county region, but the services we offer are focused on Thurston County. And this is a continuation of an effort that started in 2018 when Public Health and Social Services applied for and was awarded Medicaid transformation funding. And so annually we have an opportunity to renew that. And this would extend the programs that we offer, which includes opioid prevention, maternal child health in the form of nurse-family partnership, as well as chronic disease self-management education. So we do trainings on opioid prevention, naloxone, overdose reversal medication, as well as safe storage of those opioid and related substances. And we continue to offer NFP across a multi-county area for our communities, as well as a series of workshops on a variety of chronic health conditions that people in our community are affected by, and that helps them to manage those diseases, including most recently a chronic pain workshop that also relates to opioid prevention. So we are asking you to approve this contract amendment and extend the duration of our work on this into the early part of 2022. We hope that there may be actually an additional year of Medicaid transformation forthcoming due to the impacts of COVID-19, but we'll keep you posted on that. Thank you for your attention to this.
Questions for Chris?
No, sir.
Chris, just to put an exclamation point on it, this is money coming in, correct?
Yes, this would be revenue for Public Health and Social Services to continue to deliver these projects.
Okay, thank you. Ready for motion?
I would move to approve the Cascade Pacific Action Alliance contract amendment number K2293-202040-01. Duration from date of execution through January 31st, 2022, for a total of up to $114,360 for the Medicaid transformation project to deliver services to Thurston County residents who are on Medicaid, and authorize the director of the Public Health and Social Services Department to sign the contract, as well as future amendments that do not change the approved dollar amount by more than 10%.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Please vote.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
All right, on to Public Works, 7A, Master Interlocal Agreement with the City of Lacey for Transportation Services. Matt Unzelman, Traffic Engineer and Operations Manager. Welcome, Matt.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Matt Unzelman, Thurston County Traffic Engineers. Thurston County and the City of Lacey perform various roadway activities for each other. An interlocal government contract is necessary to allow this cooperation to occur. This agreement will allow cooperation for road maintenance activities such as pavement striping. So we stripe more than 1,000 miles of road, so we're probably more prepared than a city who doesn't stripe as much as us. And we rely on the cities to maintain our signal cabinets because we only have 10 traffic signals in the county, and the cities have a lot.
Dozens.
So this agreement will replace the intergovernmental agreement originally signed in 2016 that recently expired. The requests for services and associated costs are to be negotiated in individual scope of work documents as needed and will supplement the master agreement. This agreement will be in effect for 5 years unless terminated sooner. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No questions, sir.
No question.
Any major components of this agreement changing from the one that just expired?
No, it's virtually the same agreement.
Okay, very good. Ready for motion?
I'd move to approve the master interlocal agreement with the City of Lacey for a 5-year term for a maximum consideration of $300,000 per calendar year for transportation services.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia? Aye. Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye. That motion carries. And we'll go to 7B. Resolution adopting the transportation impact fee rate schedule update. Sticking with Matt.
Matt Eltzman, Thurston County Traffic Engineer. This item is the request that the Board of County Commissioners approve the resolution adopting the proposed transportation impact fee program rate study. Impact fees, as you know, are over the past 5 or 6 briefings or a year and a half that we've been talking about them, are a broad category of charges on new development assessed to pay for capital projects that add capacity to accommodate new development. Periodic rate reviews are necessary to establish and make sure that the impact fees are still appropriate. Public Works is updating the 2012 Transportation Impact Fee Study with a new project list that reflects completed, new, and removed projects, the latest traffic data, as well as the most current growth projections in the county. New rates are proposed in the study update and require Board of County Commissioner adoption through resolution. The proposed rates are 50% of the maximum defensible rate as defined in the Transportation Impact Fee updated rate study dated March 3rd, 2021. The 50% reduction is consistent with the existing impact fee program approach. The proposed traffic impact fee rate schedule also includes a specific rate for accessory dwelling units or ADUs, as well as a rate which the rate is established at 50% of the single family trip rate. And finally, the 2022 transportation impact fee rate schedule would become into effect effective January 1st, 2022.
Questions for Matt?
No, sir.
I guess my only question, this is a similar rate to say what Kitsap County uses or other jurisdictions, but it's just a slight increase over the existing rate. Is that right?
A slight increase.
Overall?
Overall.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have any questions. Is there a motion?
I would move to approve the resolution adopting the proposed 2022 Transportation Impact Fee Rate Schedule as listed in the Transportation Impact Fee Program Update Rate Study of March 3rd, 2021, effective January 1st, 2022.
I'll second that. Been moved and seconded. Further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Nay.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye. The motion carries 2-1. Thank you. Matt.
Thank you.
We have one more item under Public Works, so don't go anywhere. I see your name still there. All right, this one is to set, so this is connected, to set a public hearing for an ordinance to amend Thurston County Code 2504060. And if you could just explain how this connects to what we just did, that'd be great.
So you're absolutely right. This is connected. So Thurston County is requesting that the Board of County Commissioners move to waive a 20-day comment period and go to the 10-day comment period and set a public hearing date for August 10th, 2021 to consider an ordinance amending exemptions as identified in the RCW's or state law. It's not my stomach, I promise.
Hey, George, can you mute yourself, please?
Okay, go ahead, Matt.
Okay, I'll reset.
Yep, he just muted up.
So basically, what this is doing is to provide an exemption in our county code for low-income housing as well as early learning facilities. RCW allows local governments to grant exemptions for low-income housing of not more than 80% of the collected impact fee. Recent House Bill 1331 was recently signed by the governor and became effective July 25th, 2027. This bill revised state law to allow governments to grant exemptions for early learning facilities of not more than 80% of the impact fee collected. The proposed ordinance would amend Thurston County Code to include exemptions for both low-income housing as well as early learning facilities. These exemptions are defined by state law and would apply to transportation impact fees. These exemptions would become effective as soon as the ordinance is signed. So these exemptions would be applied to our current impact fee rate schedule.
Because the new rates wouldn't go into effect until next year.
You're absolutely right.
And putting it on the shorter timeline is trying to get this implemented as fast as possible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioner?
Maybe a side benefit could be that those people that are interested in child daycare situations might be able to have a better rate when this is all said and done.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ready? Okay, is there a motion?
I would move to waive the 20-day public notice requirement for public hearings pursuant to resolution number 10102 and set a public hearing for Tuesday, August 10th, 2021 at 3 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard at the Thurston County Courthouse, Building 1, Room 280, to receive testimony on a proposed ordinance amending Thurston County Code, Section 25.04.060, to include exemptions as defined by RCW 82.02.060 for low-income housing and early learning facilities with respect to transportation impact fees.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right, thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, well, that was a lot of action items. Let's go to 8A, which is commissioners reporting on work sessions, committee meetings, community events. Commissioner Mejia.
Well, since our commissioners check-in on Thursday, that afternoon, I did interviews for the Racial Equity Program Manager position. We also attended the EDC Hootenanny, and I was joined by the other two commissioners. On Saturday, the commissioners also attended the Tenino Parade. I would like to give a special thanks to Mr. Ed Lewis, who gave us, or he drove us around, and he brought one of his cars. So so much thanks go out to him. And then right after this meeting, I'm going to the agritourism meeting where we will be discussing bylaws. So
awesome. Bylaws.
Attended the Thurston Regional Planning Commission retreat, the second half of that, and joint meeting with my seatmates with the Olympia Port Commission and the county commissioners discussing some changes depending on census return, which is coming out pretty soon, I hope. And Thurston County Chamber, Thurston County Fire Commission, and constituency work on water issues, specifically on lake issues, trying to make it easier to have individual lakes create management districts and thus help on water quality. And no real hot issues of concern at any one of my committee assignments.
Okay, very good. Yeah, it was a busy week, sounds like, for all of us. Attended an event at Grub on Friday. Attended the EDC event on Thursday. Attended the Oregon Trail Days in Tenino both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday for the parade. Sunday went back to take my family to see the Frog and Toad show related to the Tenino Young at Heart Theater, which is a very exciting thing to report on because they've acquired property in downtown Tenino and they're going to be launching a capital campaign to build a building for a permanent home right within the heart of Tenino's creative district. I wanted to promote that they're going to have an event on September 18th from 11 to 2 with performances, food, kind of a preliminary groundbreaking where they're going to show people the site and kind of kick off their efforts to try to get that building built. So the show was great, so that was really a lot of fun. Took a couple of field trips related to county issues, compression brake proposed area, drove those roads, went out to look at some property near the jail where there's been talk about potentially putting RVs. So I wanted to see what the opportunities were there. Phone calls related to issues. We passed our C-PACER program. The Spokane County Commission is considering the same. They had some questions apparently, and I worked with some folks out there to try to get those questions answered. Capitol Lake Executive Work Group, which will be presenting to this board next week, is touching base with stakeholders to try to see. Public comment is due on August 13th. And so they're touching base with each jurisdiction to see what might be coming. And I know our staff is kind of looking at that, and I think we'll have something to propose to the board here within the next week or so. That was about the long and short of it. So it was a good week, and we'll go to 8B, County Manager.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let me walk you through your combined schedule for the next 2 weeks. Next week, the Board of County Commissioners scheduled for August 3rd has been canceled. We don't have a quorum for Monday, August 2nd, August 3rd, and August 4th. 2 commissioners will be out of the office. So starting my report on for tomorrow, Wednesday, July 28th at 9:30, you have a Board of Health special meeting. You will continue the conversation on the on-site sewage management plan. At 11, tomorrow, July 28th, you have a briefing related to the Western Washington Phase 2 Municipal Stormwater Permit Annual Report, also known as the MPDS permit. 11:30 tomorrow, you have an additional briefing related to the Storm and Surface Water Advisory Board Annual Meeting. And at noon, you have an executive session where you will have an update from your attorney and the general update on pending litigation. Nothing on your July 29, Thursday, July 29, nothing on Friday, July 30th. Nothing again on Monday, August 2nd, nothing on Tuesday, August 3rd, and nothing on Wednesday, August the 4th. Thursday, August 5th, you have a planned budget work session. I will work with Robin to see if, since our commissioner will be still out of the office, if we can reschedule that meeting so we have a full board related to a budget work session. At 10 in the morning, you have your regular commissioners check-in. Agenda will be posted 24 hours in advance. At 1 in the afternoon, Thursday, August 5th, you have your regular monthly check-in with Superior Court. And at 2 in the afternoon, Thursday, August 5th, you have a briefing related to the Capitol Lake, the Chutes Estuary, and their staff from the state will be presenting the draft environmental impact statement, also known as the EIS. I have a set work session for the 3:30 on August 5th. We'll see if we need that time slot or not. Friday, nothing on Friday, August 6th. Moving on to Monday, August 9th, you have your standing meeting with the Washington State Association of Counties Virtual Assembly at noon. And then you will convene here on Tuesday, August 10th at 9 in the morning on your regular agenda setting. Thank you.
I see it in my calendar, it shows ERP project kickoff. Does that not involve the commissioners? Okay.
No, the board. You have been invited as the chair, as the county manager to provide some updates.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
All right, then anything else for the good of the order from the commissioners?
No, sir.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.